let's keep it then with more big voices. And A. Giridhar, who is the secretary, MoRTH, spoke with us about is joining in rather to talk about his outlook on the road ahead for the highway sector, the EV charging points, as well as the road projects, which have gotten off to a fairly slow start. Thank you so much for taking time out. To begin with, walk us through why the reason that you're attributing the road construction being weak on a year-to-date basis FY23, because I understand during April to August, it's been just about 912 kilometers that have been added versus last year.
The progress of the highways is slightly lower than the previous year achievement. It is some 10-12% less than what we did last year and around 15% less than the targeted construction. There are 2-3 reasons. The main reason is the monsoon. This year there were excess rainfall and also extended monsoon period in several states of the country. So that put us back a little. However, we have plans. We have already projects ongoing which will ensure that we complete our target by the financial year end.
So, in light of that, what is going to be the awarding and construction target for FY23, given that there has been a slower start?
Construction target will remain unchanged at 12,200 kilometer, and the award target also we have planned for 14,000. I am quite hopeful that we will be able to achieve that.
So, what is the update? Could you just in the entire Bharatmala projects, how much has been completed so far and how much do you aim to complete in this financial year in the Bharatmala project?
We have completed around 9,000 kilometers of Bharatmala phase 1 and around 23,000 kilometers have been awarded. This year and next year we will complete the award of entire 34,000 kilometers, which was targeted under Bharatmala 1. The construction has picked up phase. The completion of the detailed project reports and the awards have resulted in increasing pace of completion of Bharatmala projects, especially the expressways and access control roads, 23 in number, are under construction at various stages. One has been already opened to the public and 2-3 others also will be ready by the next year end.
How is the competitive intensity currently both in terms of EPC and HAM projects, and has the aggression come down?
Macroeconomic cycle will affect the interest rates, as you know. So, the PPP players will find it a bit difficult to mobilize necessary funding for these projects. However, since we got better mechanisms like hybrid annuity model and EPC also in our kitty, it is unlikely that that will affect our pace of work. However, the contractors will be a bit skeptical about the BOT projects, as the risks, the macroeconomic as well as the traffic risks and the contractual risks, all these will be combined in the BOT projects. We are testing the market. We have made out one project recently. We will watch the response of BOT projects and see whether we should go ahead with more of such projects. However, our target is around 51% of the total funds will be spent on the hybrid annuity model. So, that will continue, that will remain our main focus, as this will not only ensure that the projects are completed in time and we will give enough participation to the private sector without a great macroeconomic risk like the interest rate risk or the traffic risk, recession risk, all are not to be taken by the contractors in hybrid annuity model. However, a EPC model remains the best possible model for highway construction.
Sure. You had a target of increasing BOT projects as well to around 10%, I understand. How is that shaping up?
We are testing the market. We have released one tender for BOT operators. We will see the response, and we would also like more and more players, private sector players, to come into BOT sector. We are going for smaller packages so that greater number of the developers will come into the field. Once we understand what are the market's perceptions regarding this, we will take it forward with more and more projects.
Sure. Would you have any update on the recent proposal to reduce grant component from 40 to 10 to 20% of the project cost of HAM?
That's only a thought which has emerged in some of the industry players, because HAM is just an annuity model with some straight payment at the front end. So, if government has to do more and more projects, then perhaps we can reduce the initial payment. That was the thought floated by some of the stakeholders, not government as such. So, to that extent, we have not really finalized anything on that front.
So what are the current debt levels of NHAI as of FY22? It stood at 3.5 lakh crores.
This year we are not borrowing anything, but we are servicing the debt and as well as repaying some of it. So, to that extent, our debt burden is going down. Since Government of India is footing the entire highway construction bill, there shall not be any further borrowing this year from the market.
All right, and given that the borrowing has stopped, walk us through now what are the funding plans?
Government have decided that the highway sector will be funded by the budget, that there shall not be any borrowing by agencies such as NHAI and NHIDCL, because the cost of capital for NHAI is likely to be slightly higher than that of the Government of India. So, it makes sense that the government borrows at a central place and gives to the agencies who do infrastructure work through budget, instead of each agency approaching the market and driving up the interest rates.
So what are the monetization targets for the year? Any update on the means of monetization? How many monetization duties you're planning? How much you've achieved in terms of monetization?
As you know, we have already completed the 2 tranches of InvIT. Another tranche we are planning with around 7,000 crores. It will happen before the end of the financial year. That will complete our target for TOT and InvIT. We are also looking at raising finances for the greenfield projects through an SPV, such as the Delhi-Mumbai Expressway and other expressways. We are in discussion with the Ministry of Finance. As soon as we get the go-ahead, we will try to mobilize funds to the SPVs building the expressways in greenfield, which do not have a history of the proven traffic flow. So, that will ensure that we complete the project in time and we can monetize them later. So, all in all, around 15 to 16,000 from TOT and InvIT, and around 10 to 12,000 through the project based borrowing. This was our initial plan. This is likely to change in view of the Finance Ministry's advice that central level borrowing will be done through Finance Ministry. So, we are in discussion with the Ministry of Finance. Once we finalize our plans, I think we will start completing the process.
Lastly, if you could touch upon the financials of NHAI, given the high debt, what will be the interest outgo and how much do you see to lose out in terms of annuity which you need to pay?
See, so far the interest rate has been very benign. We even borrowed at 5.25% last year, and the previous years also it was like that. It was just hovering around the sovereign rate, and in many of the borrowings it was slightly less than the sovereign borrowing rate also. So, to that extent, we have stayed within the limits prescribed by the Finance Ministry. We have borrowed at the rate of around 60 to 65,000 crores up to 2020-21. After that, the borrowing has gone down due to additional funding through the budgetary resources. So, the NHAI generates its own revenue through toll. Toll revenue is around 35,000 this year. It is likely to go up as we complete more and more expressways and access control roads. The amount we generate, say, in 2-3 years through tolling may be enough even to service our debt and to certain extent repay it also. So, NHAI will not be overburdened by any of the debt it has contracted. Not only we in the ministry are making it sure, but Finance Ministry has taken it upon themselves that the infrastructure sector gets the necessary funding. As you know, under Gati Shakti, there is a huge emphasis on the infrastructure building and filling those gaps which will provide the logistics efficiency. So, the debt burden or the debt servicing shall not be a major problem for the NHAI, and it is under limits. It will continue to be below the threshold of the NHAI's capacity.
Right. Mr. Giridhar, great to have you on the show today, sir. Thank you so much for taking the time out.